All right, all right. We are back in Belmar at the Grit Won't Quit podcast studio. We have a special guest, Ryan from EOS, on today, who loves Belmar. Good afternoon, Ryan. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. Give us the reason why you love Belmar right up front.
Yeah, so I walked in and I told Tom, I was like, this plaza is very special to me. So me and my wife, our first date was at 10th Ave Burrito. And I remember, and I can't wait for her to watch this, but she was actually 10 minutes late to the first date. And I was like, well, I don't know.
You seem like an on-time kind of guy.
Uh-huh.
So shout out to 10th Ave Burrito. We can actually see it from this whole podcast. This whole time you're going to be seeing 10th Ave Burrito sign during this. I hope your wife enjoys the podcast when it comes out.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. So you and I got connected through Facebook. We were talking about Business of the Week, and you had recommended two of your clients who have since become the business. They both have become the Business of the Week. I might have made the second one happen right around the timing of this, so that we have one more thing to talk about. But you're a franchise company, so and then you really work more in the trades than other sectors. So kind of go into what EOS is, what it does, what are the benefits, and kind of why it leans more to the trades for your organization.
Yeah, I mean, so from a high level, everyone asks, what does EOS really do? And from a really high level perspective, I try to say it like this, business owners try to grow their business, and constantly what happens is, they get pulled into the day-to-day. They can't figure out how to delegate. When they do delegate, it's not done how they want it to be done. And all these things start...
Owner's crazy.
We all are.
All right, fair.
I mean, everyone's crazy, and, we all don't know what we don't know. It's just about being able to admit that. If you really know that, hey, I'm not good at marketing, that's okay. That's a good thing. Or I'm not good at sales. All right, well, how do we get better? And so, prime part of EOS is, all those things are just blocks. They're ceilings that we hit in the business, and we have to figure out how do we break through it, or else you'll stay there forever. And so, primarily when I work with clients, it's well, what does success even look like, first of all? Because a lot of, when we're in the day-to-day and just getting hit, over the head with everything. And which is normal. If you're feeling that, you're normal. There is another way out, though. There is a way to think, all right, well, what do I really want? And then how do I get that and go right at that instead of kind of just let's just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So from a high level perspective, it's kind of...
And now, so you're really like a business coach then, and helping explore opportunities, put a roadmap in place?
Yeah, I mean, it's more look at it this way too. Think about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, all these people, the pro athletes, even they have coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I have a coach. We need that third eye perspective. I don't know everything, and I'll start talking to my coach, and she'll be she'll just pause. Yeah, that was dumb. Just say things out loud, and you're like,
when you say it out loud, you're like, oh, that doesn't actually make sense.
I'm way off here.
That's funny.
So yeah, it's really just having that other perspective of asking basic questions just to get to hey, where do you see yourself in 3 years? Whether it's your business, whether it's your personal life.
There's a lot of overlap in that too.
A ton.
And success is different to everybody. What deems success to you might be a little bit different than me. Although we live in the same town, so maybe we have similar goals and stuff like that.
It's funny, when I talk to people outside of New Jersey, New Jersey's all go, 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 go.
Yeah.
And when I talk to other implementers or other business owners outside of New Jersey, it's just a more dialed down pace or dialed down, how do you, it's just so different how the different parts of the country operate. So,
it's not, it's the Jersey thing. So you're a born and raised Jersey Shore guy. Grew up in Brick, then went to CBA, which is a great school in Monmouth County, and then now living in Ocean Township.
Yeah, CBA. I mean, that totally changed my whole life. I grew up. I guess maybe part of, why I work a lot with trades is, I grew up. My dad's a truck driver. He just retired last year.
Congrats.
Yeah, it was huge for him. But he did the same thing for 40 years. And I love him to death, but he was terrified of making any different risky decisions. And so, I saw that and I was I don't personally want that life for myself. And I know that there's another way, and I can help other business owners, friends, people, like, what do you actually want in your life?
Mm-hmm.
Because once we identify that, we can just, it's just a path.
Mm-hmm.
How do we write the story to get there rather than, just get overwhelmed and emotional about it. But yeah,
But you saw something in the fact that to send you to CBA, because not every parent sees the value in going to a school like that.
well, so yeah, that's another story. So I went to St. Dominic's growing up. I wasn't even supposed to go to CBA. We absolutely could not afford it. And shout out to CBA for this. This was unbelievable. But when I was in 7th grade, I was nominated for a scholarship to go to CBA. And sure enough, went through the interview process, and they ended up giving me the scholarship. Like I never would have experienced that.
But that probably changed some of your trajectory too.
1,000%. And what the cool part is that someone took a chance on me. Someone went to bat for me. He's since passed away at CBA, but I mean, you don't get many people like that nowadays. And so now all I do is, I'm very involved in CBA now.
Are you a pay it forward guy too?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Well, yeah. So I'm involved in the Alumni Association
Mhm.
because it's just that school it changed my whole life.
Yeah.
100%. So
The trajectory of your life got better from not knowing where you were, but going to CBA. I mean, there's a lot of successful people that come out of that school.
yeah, and I'm just so grateful that they gave me the opportunity to be there. So huge shout out to CBA on that.
Huge shout out to CBA today. We'll tag you in the podcast. So you leave CBA, you go to Stevens in Hoboken, which that's more of a technical school.
Yeah, so went to Stevens for mechanical engineering, and now I really don't use that at all. Which whole different story on colleges, but I think it just kind of ties back to what do we want our lives to look like? I didn't know. I don't think many people really do truly sit down and ask the question at 18 years old, what do I want to be when I grow up? I got to go do a bunch of stuff and figure it out.
You got to see what you like, see what you don't like.
Yeah.
At 18, you're not framed to know what you're going to do.
Yeah, so I mean, I think while education was really important to where I'm at today, I think a little bit more of action would have and getting out into the job pool, which I did. Stevens had a great 5-year program where basically you do a co-op program. So I got working experience while being in school. That was the most invaluable thing. If anyone out there is watching this, I'd highly suggest if you're going to college, get some work experience because it's so different from education.
Yeah.
I mean, so different.
And what you like.
Yeah.
What you like and what you dislike.
Yeah, because you have one job that you love and one job I didn't like that at all.
Yep.
All right, so let's do less of that and more of this.
And I think you also have to see working in a work environment is different than just education. And when you learn a technical or you learn any kind of skill, it might sound cool when you're in the classroom and then you get in the real world and you're like, I don't like this at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing too is a lot of people are going to traditional colleges and universities now, and that's kind of been the push. And while I think that's important, I also do think, we both know the trades are exploding. They can't find enough people. And there's massive opportunities for tradespeople out there to whether they want to start their own business, buy their own. I mean, there's massive opportunities.
There's also going to be a lot of for sales. A lot of the guys that are in the trades, the electricians, the plumbers, the framers, they're getting older. They're going to want to retire, and a lot of baby boomers have a business that that maybe their kids don't want, but they're going to be looking to exit in the next 15 years.
I think a massive point on that too is if you are looking to retire at that point, start identifying who's going to take your business over, especially if you're you're doing a few million in revenue. That's a potential it's a good exit that I know some other owners who just kind of shut their doors down, not wanting to address the who's gonna own my business after this. Massive opportunity for them as well.
I think there's succession planning that needs to be done. Because again, I think sometimes people, they're in the day-to-day, they're in the hustle. I couldn't right now think about stepping away from my business as much as I'd love to say I only look at it and grow the business. I am still in the day-to-day, and I've been in business 15 years. I have a staff of 20 people, and I'm still hustling. I think a lot of guys have just gone through their whole life like that to think about stepping away and someone else coming in and who that person is and And I also think some of the business owners are a little, it's their baby, where they think it's worth more than it is. But on the other side is, even if you took a payday that's less than you thought, it's still a payday versus just closing the door one day.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like, it's what success looks like to everybody. So, some people absolutely love what they do and they want to, like, for example, the first job I had at college, the CEO, owned the business for 60 years. He literally passed away at his desk at 92. Like, he loved what he did. It was in their DNA, like, as a family. Some people are like, I don't want that. So, if you're watching this, figure out what your want is. You can make your life whatever you want.
I don't want to pass away at my death.
Me either.
I want to be well gone before that happens.
Yeah, there's plenty of other places to pass away for me. But it's just whatever success looks like to you. If it's I want to run my business from Costa Rica, if it's I want to run my business, I want to be in the business. Whatever success looks like to you, you can make that happen. Mm-hmm. Like, it's fully possible.
And I think it's a matter of laying it out, start knocking those bullets and reevaluating it. There was a time I was talking to our sales manager yesterday. And I said there was a time if I hit this revenue number, I'm out the door. Well, the numbers have passed, and here we are, and I'm still hustling. So, you never, like, when you start, you don't think you're going to hit certain milestones. And as you I think it's important to keep making milestones and keep changing the end zone.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the end zone's what you make of it. Like, it's whatever success looks like to you. And I say that over and over again, just because, like, some people, that changes over time. Mm-hmm. Something we do is, set like a big 10-year, we call it a big, hairy, audacious goal. Big 10-year goal, throw it out there. That's just your guiding light. And then everything you do is going towards that. And then kind of plan around that. That's your guiding light. And that may change over time. You'll be like, I don't want to run a $40 million business. I'd actually want to be at 10 million or 5 million. Like, again, the numbers don't really matter, but
it's like some people are built for certain things. Like, it's like going to colleges. There's some people that want to go to the big universities, the Penn States of the world, and then there's other people that want to go to the smaller Monmouth U's or a college or Boston College where there's there's less students in there because they just do better in a smaller environment. There's some people that do much better in that bigger, environment. Everybody's got their thing, and that's the same thing I think with business. As you look at it, there's some companies where a CEO could probably take it to the next level, but he's very good at what he does, and he's happy there. Yep. There's other people that are like, I want to get to that next level, and they have that drive and that ambition, and sometimes they're gonna hit some roadblocks along the way. But I feel like it depends where your threshold is, and everybody's threshold is different. And depending on the management team, I think you could change that too. Like, there's some management teams where maybe the VP of sales couldn't get you that next level, or the COO couldn't get you there, but you bring on somebody new, and then all of a sudden that number looks, I think, again.
That is I've seen that happen live so many times where, like, the goals are set, you bring on, like, what we say in EOS is, like, you're just one major people move away from completely changing your business. You bring in one really strong person and your business could be a whole different thing of what you thought was possible when you're like, wow, like, once you plan out, like, hey, we need these people in the next 6 to 12 months to get to where we want to be, and then you're like, well, when we make this strategic hire, if we covered that and I'm not involved in that at all, like, I could just be selling the whole time? Like, yeah.
And then there's also times where one person could hold back an organization. On the other side, like, you get that key hire and they take it to the next level. There's also times where there's a little cancer in the organization that when one person leaves, production of others go up.
And so, like, a lot of what I do is address hard things. Like, we have to, with some frame around it. And, like, if I were to boil EOS down to one thing, it's people. Mm-hmm. Everybody is in the people business. It's all people, and strictly on, like, values. So we see that a lot with, like, we say you need right people, right seats, meaning, like, right people, they share in the company's values, and everyone shares in those values. So instead of it feeling like work, you're going to a common place with people who share in your values, and it's like, wow, this is fun. And if you run on EOS or you have a culture like that, you understand what I'm saying when I say that. Where you're like, wow, this is actually, we're going to bat for each other. Like, it's a true, like, championship style team where you got the short and on right seats, it's you're in the right seat, meaning, like, the shortstop's playing shortstop. Center fielder, he's the best center fielder out there. Right field, same thing. You have people in their right seats where they're really good at what they do. They actually want to do it, and they have the skills to be able to execute on it. So, yeah, we see that all the time with like core values. We almost see it more on the core value side than on the capability side of like the toxicity. They'll bring you down hard. They will like just wait for you to try to grow and then be like, nope.
Yeah.
And you'll start to notice it over time, like there's symptoms that pop up. But like if they're not on your team, they're off your team. And that's a hard decision to make as an owner when you're in it all the time. So like,
see the good that people have good, right? Like, so people see the good in the other person, but they also see the bad. And again, a small business owner, it's hard to,
it's the hardest thing to like,
because you see the good and you see like, they're a good person, but they're making some mistakes, and you want to see the better of them, and you want to see them do the right thing, and you want them to get better. But sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Like this, like, so on that side, meaning the seat side, you have to like you have to get it, you have to want it, you have to have the capacity to do it. Meaning like, so like for all the tradespeople out there, if you're a plumber and I put you into an accounting job, you're gonna be like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
That's okay. Like whatever. You have to want it. If you don't want to do a certain job, you can't pay someone enough money in the world. You can't micromanage them enough in the world for them to actually do it well. So when you start seeing some of those mistakes, those errors, this is a fun tip. Ask that employee if you see these consistent things. Say, hey, it seems like you don't want to be in this scene, and just watch what they say. Say back to you, because either they're going to say one of two things, and I've personally witnessed this. I've helped clients with this as well. They're going to say one of two things. The employee, they're going to say, no, listen, I had a really bad month or a bad week. Like, I'm so sorry. Or the other side, they're like, yeah, actually, I don't.
Yeah.
Which is okay. Like,
It's okay.
that's fine. All right. Well, what do you want to do?
Let's find the right seat for you. If you're a part of the team, let's find the right seat for you. If not, let's start to figure out a plan so that you find a seat somewhere else.
And like we're all so afraid of having those conversations because we're like, it's like the fear of like what could happen. Like we're all human beings. Like at the end of the day, like again, we're in the people business. Let's just take care of each other. Genuinely, just know that like, hey, we need this in this seat, and if you're not able to fill in that, like, we're gonna have to figure out something else. But yeah, on the value side, it's important. You can even hire for that. Massive shout out to Joe Hughes here, especially on the hiring process. Like, making sure you're hiring for those values is going to eliminate all the symptoms that pop up down the road.
Joe Hughes is a CBA guy.
Yeah, he is.
He also went to Boston College, and he's a local Jersey Shore guy, and he's been on the podcast. His company's Contractor Dynamics, and he's out of Wall Township. He's a great guy. If you haven't seen that episode, I definitely recommend 5 Mile Famous, it was called.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about this on Blue in the Face.
So how do you know Joe? Through EOS?
We actually go to the same gym. We go to Landmark in Manasquan.
You probably both like going to the beach.
Yeah. So we got connected. It could have been through EOS too, because he goes out to the EOS conference. One of my clients, the Braga brothers, so he works with them as well. So we're all just kind of
small,
all mixed up in this Monmouth County area.
So Joe's a good guy. Joe's been doing EOS for a while, and then he was telling me.
Yeah, he's exploded. So like his business has definitely seen some significant growth. So
great. It's great to see local guys doing well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge sucker for Monmouth County. It's just my place.
You're not moving out. You're locked in now.
I love it. I don't know what it is about New Jersey, but like I just can't. I just love it so much.
You can't say enough good things about it.
I love it. I moved down to DC for a while, and I came back and I was like, yeah, I miss this.
How long were you sitting?
That was about 4 or 5 years.
Stint there.
4 or 5 years.
Did you go down there for work or?
Yeah, that was like my first job out of college, and then
Where the guy died at 92.
Yeah, that one.
Understood.
I'm not doing that.
So, kind of, where do you see so you're at EOS for 2.5 years. Franchise, you seem to really enjoy. You seem to really like working with the people. So, what's kind of how do you see that continue to grow, and how do you see your success?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I desperately want to work with people who are growth oriented. Like it's so important for not just like what the value of what I provide to them is, if they don't have that growth mindset, what I do is not really going to help.
The great thing is you're a younger guy. I mean, so that you see it already. Like, so you're 10 years ahead of everybody else. They're going to catch up. Your friends and your colleagues that your age are going to catch up to you at some point. And they're going to be like, dude, you had this right. You have a 10-year head start on everybody.
I'm just grateful for the people just experiencing it myself. I didn't know about this either, and that that's kind of the reason why I'm doing this. Is I think there's just so much opportunity for living a happy life,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of us feel like we have to do certain things, and we don't.
No.
We can write whatever script we want about our life. We can do whatever we want. It's up to us to write the script and then go tackle
Follow the playbook.
Go tackle what you need to tackle. Go learn what you need to learn. But I was with a client yesterday and we were talking about what are the two big levers of growth, and it constantly comes back to mindset and ego. Those two things, if you have a true growth mindset, if you have if you're able to put your ego aside and know, listen, I'm not good at accounting. I'm not good at these certain things. I'm not good at marketing. I'm not good at Facebook ads. And knowing that, no, literally, and that's what we plan. If you're not good at something, you're actively doing harm to the business and yourself.
You make yourself crazy in the process.
Which, if you don't need, if you're not good at it, you don't want to do it. I know all the people out there are going to tell you, oh, put your head down and grind. Well, you could also think a little smarter and find someone who actually wants to do those things.
Totally.
First, again, on the marketing side, if you don't want to do marketing, you don't need to. Just identify, what does success look like for the marketing? That's your job. That's all that matters. Figure out what the results you need as an owner from the marketing, and then collaborate with your partner to understand, hey, this is what success would look like. Does that sound right? And just kind of work it from there.
That's a great piece of advice. Because, again, you can't be great at everything. You don't want to be great at everything. And I'd rather take my time and do something I'm really great at and excel than do something I'm not great at that's going to take me triple the time of someone that really understands it.
Yeah, and what that turns into down the road is you have a team of people who they love what they do. They're really good at it, because guess what? If you love something, you're going to go farther. Just like if you love a certain sport, you're going to research it. You're going to watch it all day long.
Better than if you playing a sport you don't.
Yeah, it's just, it commonly comes back to that. And some people will say, you have to grind it out. I think to a point you do, when you're starting out. But when you get to the point where you can start affording, certain things,
help,
definitely ask for help. And even then, there's so many people in the world that are willing to help. Ask. I'm notoriously horrible at asking for help. And, I work at that. It's something that I struggle with, and I need to get better at that, because then if I'm not asking for help, I'm like, why? So it's just being aware, me putting my ego aside. I have to learn to put my ego aside and ask for help when I don't know. So
we're going to leave with that thought. Put your ego aside so that it benefits the growth of your business. So when your wife watches it in its entirety, I want to give you guys a gift card to 10th Avenue Burrito to
awesome.
Have a anniversary date there.
That's amazing. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for coming on today.
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure to get you on here. I know we had some scheduling conflicts, but it was excellent to have you, and I love what you're doing, and keep doing great things.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's just take a quick picture for social.
Yep.